Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the new format, new show, new thing going on. I don't even know what we're going to call it yet. I don't even have a name for the show yet. I feel like we need to come up with one. Maybe you guys can drop a comment, or maybe in the Discord, let me know what we should call the show moving forward.
I kind of like the whole idea of just doing it live.
Yeah, I feel like we need a actual formal name because at least we have some branding around it. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. If you guys have any ideas of what we should call the new show, it's going to be a live show moving forward. Our podcast has moved from a pre-recorded podcast to a live format podcast. And the reason we do it is because we don't edit our podcast anyway.
Yeah, might as well just do it live.
Do it live. So welcome to all the new people. Welcome to the Free Thinker Army. Welcome to Free Thinker Live. I kind of like that. Free Thinker Live.
Free Thinker Live.
Free Thinker Live. Is
FTL,
that a good one?
FTL. It's kind of like close to like lose, like fail. We'll think of something. Do it live, guys. Do it live. Welcome everybody. Let's go.
And if you're new here or you just joined, definitely smash that like button. It's more of a vanity number, but it makes us feel real good.
Yeah, actually, the more that you like it, the more my pee-pee grows.
Seriously, bro, it's like way too early to get into that. But welcome everyone.
Hey, welcome everybody. Smash the like button. Join us in Discord, Telegram, wherever you are. Let us know what's up.
And this weekend, while we kind of gather people up, I did something really interesting.
Oh, really?
I went to the safari. I saw giraffes.
There's a safari?
Yeah, there's a safari
in Georgia?
like 40 minutes north of here, maybe 30 minutes from my house.
That's some fake ass shit right there.
Dude, we
you
saw
went on safari in Georgia?
We saw some baby giraffes. Look at this giraffe. Hold on, Will's got it up. Look at this thing, dude.
All right.
Look at it.
Oh. He's eating from your hand?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look. That's my daughter or my wife feeding a giraffe. How cute is that? So we saw giraffes and we saw ostriches and zebras.
Is it really a safari though?
I mean, you get in the car and dude, these zebras are like super aggressive. Do you have the zebra clip, Will? Dude, these zebras, they were like sticking their head in my car and they eat like the feed that you buy.
Oh, you have to buy feed from a bag.
You buy feed. Okay. Look at this.
You guys are so greedy.
Yeah, look at this. All up in your car, dude.
Oh, yeah, you're talking to this thing, like, take it easy. Like.
Dude, they are so aggressive. And my daughter started crying. And then the ostrich, dude, these ostriches, we were messing with these ostriches. And when I saw them again.
Kill you, dude.
Dude.
Those things can, like, peck you to death. Dude. Can't they?
Dude, I don't know, bro. All I know is when I saw them after we saw them here, I started rolling up the windows.
Uh-oh. Is it a culture thing or is it a race thing?
Dude, watch this.
Dude, so what a sloppy eater, man. Look at all that waste.
Dude,
bro.
I had this feed all over my car. And my daughter started crying.
So is it a culture thing or is it a race thing?
I don't know. I have no idea. But so I was scrolling through Twitter and check out this ostrich clip I found. And I did not know that you could I didn't know you could dance with ostriches.
Really? All right. What is this?
Where is the ostrich dancing video?
What is he doing? Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, we're just slowly earning back our ability to stream on all these different platforms. Look at all this wholesome content we're providing everybody.
Look at us. CommieTube.
Exactly. We're
providing, good people.
We are good people. This is family-friendly content, clearly. That's so funny. You know, humans are the greatest creatures on the face of this planet, man. We do such the oddest things. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know. I did not know you could dance with ostriches. I didn't know that was a thing. I seriously, when they were walking around and they were sticking their head in my car,
Sticking their head in my car.
I mean, you get like legitimately concerned because you have these
These are big
animals.
animals.
They're huge animals, and their head is literally inside of the window in the car. And oh, Zyvan, thank you, buddy. And then you're like, dude, my daughter is crying because this head, the zebra's head and like these, I don't know, bulls' heads are like 4 times the size of your head, and they've got these sprouts, or what do you call these? Horns? And they're sticking their head in.
You just say sprouts. You got these sprouts coming out of your head, bro. Oh, my sprouts. I'm going to use that word 5 more times this stream. Sprouts.
And it is, I don't know, but it's cool. It's cool. It's not far from here, and they've been around. I think they opened about a year ago. It's in North Georgia.
As much as I want to make fun of it, I'm going to have to ask you for the information because I think I should take my kids there.
Yeah, it's so cool. And you can play with like parakeets, and they have like peacocks and goats and pigs.
Nice.
And
It's
all
up,
kinds of
up
stuff.
north? Was
It's
it
up
near
north. It's
Dahlonega, Helen?
no, it's like 20 minutes north of Commerce,
Oh,
up 85.
All right, understood.
And
They're just
Biggie
animals.
Draws Patriot says those horny fuckers.
They're just animals. They're just doing what animals do. Ain't gotta hate on the animals.
Dude, it was cool. It was cool. It's something that I highly recommend. And we also went to go see dinosaurs over the weekend.
Oh, dinosaurs aren't real.
Yeah. Dude, we went to go see the Dinosaur Museum or whatever it is, the Natural Museum down in Atlanta.
Natural Museum. Yeah, Natural History Museum.
And I'm walking around, and there's like these dinosaur skeletons, and you see them, right? Their heads are this big, and their bodies are as bigger than elephants. And I'm with my wife and my daughter and my parents, and every time we see a dinosaur, I'm like, daughter, what are the chances that these are real? Because
The chances
their
are
heads
zero.
are this big, their bodies are this big. And,
You think about a Tyrannosaurus Rex, how big that thing supposedly is,
and their
those-
hands are this big.
These little baby arms. He's got these little baby arms. How is that creature fucking?
Well, you're not pulling in your hair.
Dude, that's all you have to think about. Think about a Stegosaurus. A Stegosaurus. How is a Stegosaurus fucking?
And
Bro,
And
are you letting this thing calculate? Because if you actually think about it, my friends, everybody out there in internet lands, there's no way that these dinosaurs can procreate. There's
And
no way.
as soon as you walk in, there's this infograph that's up. It says timeline of Earth. And it says 15 billion years ago, the origin of the universe. 3.8 billion years ago, life begins. So you get this whole,
The propaganda begins early, guys.
and you get it as soon as you walk in. And I'm like, and I'm telling my daughter, who can't speak, but I can't help myself. I'm like, what are the chances that they know what happened 3.5 or 15 billion years ago, and we can't figure out what happened 1,000 years ago?
I can see your daughter looking up at you and saying, "Mama, just Mama."
And my wife is like, you don't have to ruin it. I'm like, no, like this is stupid. They have no idea what happened 15 billion years ago. We can't figure out what happened 150 years ago.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Latino free minds. I forgot my laptop today, so I kind of look naked.
He feels
Matt looks more believable.
less smart without a laptop in front of him. Let's be real.
I'll have it like this. Here you go. It'll be my phone. It'll look legit. There we go.
So, in the comment section, let us know: are dinosaurs real or not?
No,
The whole thing's propaganda, right?
It's all propaganda. So what's great about the Natural Propaganda Museum or the Natural History Museum is that you can, when it comes to history, this is what I tell my kids. It's his story. That's what history is. It's his story. That's all it is. And so we have no way of validating it. We have these architectural monoliths, these huge buildings that are constantly being dug up, that are showing just amazing architecture, beautiful, just design. We're not creating any of this stuff. We're digging it up. We're digging up the past. We're digging up these things. And so when it comes to, like, this, right? That none of the dinosaurs in those museums are actual bones.
Yeah, I just found that out too.
It's just copies.
I was really disappointed.
So So you go to these history museums and you're like, if you ask one of the people there, they'll admit to you, yeah, these are all just copies of the bones because all the bones are in some major place or cellar or whatever. And for each dinosaur, they only have like 1 or 2 bones, and they have to essentially manufacture the rest of what they think it's supposed to be based off of those couple bones.
Which makes sense. You don't want the valuable bones of 15 billion year old dinosaurs.
No one gives a shit about bones. No one gives a shit about bones, guys. So it's all just propaganda. It's all an entire model of saying you were worthless, you came from mud, you came from sludge and slime, and apparently your great ancestors were lizards and worms.
And single-cell organisms.
Exactly. Single-celled amoeba and mitochondria and all this stuff that you learn about in science. So, no, I don't believe any of it. I believe dragons are real for sure.
That's the line.
Yeah, dragons are real. Dinosaurs are not, guys.
Dragons are real.
We're starting this episode off well.
Yeah. Wow. Crushing it today. Crushing it. All right. So what we're doing in this new live show is that we've decided that we're going to have some structure because we are grown-ass men and we can't wing it forever. So that's what structure looks like.
Man.
Yeah.
We're trying, guys.
We're trying to add quality to the production. We have Will using 10 hands like a Hindu god.
Yeah, you're like Shiva.
He's like Shiva doing all this.
Exactly.
An octopus?
Yeah.
Octopussy? And he's so busy, he can't even figure out how to use a sound effect.
We should start calling him Octopus.
Octopussy.
No, just Octopus.
Octopus.
It's with a heavy puss. Hey, Octopus.
So we're trying to add some programming to our show, and let us know what you guys think about it. It's different.
Yeah, we're trying stuff out, and that's the whole thing. It's like all of this is always going to be an experiment.
Yeah,
we're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't.
And there isn't exactly a manual available to be like, all right, this is how you do it best. Everyone's kind of on their own, and people who've had success don't really share their secrets.
Yeah.
So we have no choice but to experiment. And for us, we just experiment live because, I don't know.
Because we're going to do it live.
We're going to do a practice run?
No, you just do it live, man. You just do it live. And what I appreciate about our candor, about the realities of, building this out and building this community and helping build this movement is we don't mind showing essentially the inner workings of what we're doing.
Sure.
I think a lot of people have ego. They want to have perfection. But the reality is I've never met a perfect person. So just don't fake the funk. We just do it live.
On that note, can we bring up the rundown? Because that's what we're going to call it, the rundown of news that we're going to cover for the day.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on in the world.
And I don't know if it's going to be a bi-weekly show, a weekly show, a monthly show. I don't really know yet.
We'll figure it out.
And I don't know if this time is the best either. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We may move it back. We may move it forward. Shoot me a message or get onto the Discord and let us know.
Yeah.
What's the better time that we can do it? We're trying not to go too early and compete with kind of the bigger shows.
Yeah.
It seems a little risky there. So we're picking a time where there's not as much going on. But you never know. Did you see? Actually, can we pull up the Chris Rumble's tweet first? I want to start there. Because today, Chris tweeted this following out. And maybe we'll switch. Eventually we'll get there.
There we go.
What does it say? Can you read it? Is the text too small?
The text is a little bit too small. It says, Russia has officially blocked the Rumble because it refused to comply with their censorship demands. Ironically, YouTube is operating in Russia, and everyone needs to ask what Russia demands Google and YouTube are complying with. So it seems like Russia is being blocked. Interesting.
Yeah. It sounds like Russia blocked Rumble from being shown, which is crazy because they ask, hey, can you ban this person? Can you ban this person? Can you take this person offline, etc.?
Yep.
Thanks, X. And if Rumble is banned in Russia, why is YouTube not also banned? And the obvious answer is because YouTube just deletes people when requested to do so. And we know that for a fact because we just had this congressional report released. And the congressional report that was released, it's called, this title is crazy. The Censorship Industrial Complex, How Top Biden White House Officials Coerced Big Tech to Censor Americans' True Information and Critics of the Biden Administration. It's an 880-page report that they just released. And the Committee on the Judiciary and Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government looks like they did it. It just came out of the House. It released a few days ago.
I'm like stunned. And the reason I'm stunned, can you read the title again of that? Because the title is so, yeah, just read it.
The Censorship Industrial Complex, How Top Biden White House Officials Coerced Big Tech to Censor Americans' True Information and Critics of the Biden Administration. That's a banger of a title, by the way.
That is a banger of a title. I mean, it sounds like, in layman's terms, that big tech is messing around with elections.
Well, this is from, they focus specifically on 2021.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. They're let's just say big tech is messing. They're messing with censorship.
So there are emails, communications from within YouTube, Amazon, and Facebook itself, as well as communications from the big tech companies and the Biden administration. That is what's in this report. And if Will can ever pull up the file, then we'll be able to see it.
Man, it is amazing the revelations that are coming out of the cooperation of big tech and big tech influence in government.
Yeah.
It is most disconcerting for sure. And it is really unfortunate that we live in a day and age where this stuff is rampant, obvious, but yet very little is actually happening.
So Will is struggling. It's in the preview. In the preview window, remember I loaded all those files into it?
All right. What are we showing here?
The emails.
Oh, this is right now we're looking at the Facebook files.
No, it's in the preview. It's a separate app, Will, not in the Chrome.
All good.
All good. So basically in it is there should be a notes up as well. Basically what happened was the Biden administration, as soon as the inauguration happened, they contacted Facebook and they said, hey, we don't want you guys talking about vaccines. There seems to be too much vaccine hesitancy. We want you to change your algorithm. We want you to ban these certain people. And in it, they are extremely aggressive. Rob Flaherty is the guy's name from the White House, Director of Digital Strategy. Rob Flaherty. We're gonna call him out. Look at this email that he writes. I feel like we're running around in circles. Some partners give us lots of information. Some partners tell us to fuck right off. This is to Facebook. This feels like we're chasing our tails. I don't want to give information just to say that. I don't want to feel like I'm going down doing a dog and pony show. My dream for Facebook is to play ball. It's all about how we get out of this fucking mess. I'm not doubting that you are sincerely trying to solve this problem in good faith. I'm doubting that you are telling us everything or that you aren't getting the resources needed to tackle this. Of 1% of vaccine info, this is what's concerning. This is who is seeing it. This is what we're doing. So they are aggressive in how they contact Facebook.
It's, man, I read another one. Read another one. I think it's important that people understand like the amount of dictation and dictatorial command and control, top-down control, and the verbiage and the tone they use is just like, it's clear who's in charge, right?
This is another one from Rob Flaherty to Facebook regarding Tucker Carlson. Since we've been on the phone, the top post about vaccines today is Tucker Carlson saying they don't work. Yesterday was Tommy Loren saying she won't take one. This is exactly why I want to know what reduction actually looks like. If reduction means pumping our most vaccine-hesitant audience with Tucker Carlson saying it doesn't work, then I'm not sure it's reduction.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're upset.
They're
not happy.
I mean, you can tell by the vibe and the tone.
And the fact that they're calling out these influencers by name. Now, it's Tucker Carlson, understood. But let's extrapolate there. This means that they're calling out anybody who has any semblance of a following. Tommy Lauren, like, she wasn't that big at the time.
Mm-mm.
Like, she's bigger now, for sure. But so this, I could even go as far as to say that probably your name has gone through emails like this.
Well,
they're
so-
like, who's this Asian chinky ass motherfucker?
Even
coming up.
even within Facebook itself, this is an internal email within Facebook, and Will's trying to figure out how to get these up. Open questions whether it's helpful or harmful for me to have them to read to you, or I find this kind of harassment from White House staff to be terribly galling. They themselves are upset at what's going on. I mean, the language that they use from the White House to Facebook is crazy.
So let's put ourselves in Facebook's position, because I think that's what the lawyers want to do. Is the lawyers want to position Facebook as like, hey, look and see, like, this is clearly pressure, like, and they're not using nice language.
No, not at all.
Right? And and if we abstract for just one level, they're the government.
Yeah.
They don't run this business.
No.
So you can be mad all you want. That's like me getting mad at Kellogg's because the Frosted Flakes sucked this morning. It's like, they don't give a shit, right? I don't run the business. I'm not going to email them and say, hey, stop making Frosted Flakes because you ruined my cereal. I mean, it shows that the government has way too much power if they can assert themselves and assume that it'll work. Isn't there a legal system for stuff like this?
On July 15th, 2021.
Man, think about how easy it is for these. Matt, you have to excuse me for a second, but the fact that a human behind a computer can write an email to another human and have this much power in an email, that's ridiculous.
Well,
are there supposed to be processes for like, hey, man, I'm upset. Fill out this form. Get a fucking ticket. Get in line. Like, what is this stuff?
So this is a good example of what they do if you don't comply to their liking. On July 15, 2021, Biden White House emailed Facebook about technical issues that had been affecting follower growth on President Biden's Instagram account, @POTUS. So they were upset that it seemed like the @POTUS Instagram account wasn't growing to their liking. Basically, they were like, hey, how come people are unfollowing? Well, because people don't like fucking Joe Biden. But they were really upset. And they said, it seems to be an internal technical issue, can't really figure out what's going on, but we'll try to get resolved. Because, obviously, they're pumping up POTUS numbers. Rob Flyer replies in an email, are you guys fucking serious? I want an answer on what happened here, and I want it today.
Ooh, wow.
July 15th. July 16th, Joe Biden goes out and publicly says that Facebook is killing people with their misinformation.
Dude, this is, I mean,
So 15th, they're trying to figure out what's going on with the POTUS account because it's not growing to their liking. They say, we don't know what's going on. So on the 16th, literally one day later, Biden goes out in a press conference and says Facebook is killing people.
follow the breadcrumbs, man.
How is that legal?
Follow the breadcrumbs.
And I'm not trying to be a shill for Facebook. Fuck Facebook.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, seriously.
dude, this is not right.
I mean, and this is Facebook. So think about this, everybody out
And
there.
this was Facebook before they changed their name to Meta. So this would be the entire organization.
Yeah. And so if they're doing this to Facebook, don't think for a second that they don't have any qualms or any issues reaching down to the lower levels of smaller companies, smaller individuals, smaller influencers, smaller content creators, and doing the same thing and shutting them out. And so this is toxic rot from the inside out of our government organizations, these tech companies that are complying, that are even give them an opportunity and a doorway to enter into the system. Like, if you're upset with what Facebook is doing, file a complaint, get a ticket, and get in line at the DMV like everybody else. Like, you know, that's the way that I see it. I just think there's way too much access, way too much ability for these companies to do these things. And what's even more obtuse is they're like the most unlikable human in the planet. Why aren't they becoming more likable online?
Well, why don't people like Joe Biden? Like, are you
Why
serious?
don't people want to follow this ugly son of a bitch? like
Why don't they want to follow our propaganda? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, it's Weekend at Bernie's. The guy's dead. Nobody wants to follow a dead guy, you know?
So even within Facebook themselves, they seem to have internal struggle. So Sheryl Sandberg, who is the COO of Facebook, so we're not talking about like low-level people. You're talking about like the top executive leadership. She wrote an internal email. And another thought, did Trump say things this irresponsible. If Trump blamed the private company, not himself and his government, everyone would have gone nuts. They were literally sending lists of posts and memes and certain creators that they wanted banned, that they wanted removed. And Facebook, gonna give them a little bit of credit. They at least try to fight back. They said, look, we can't ban them. They're not violating our guidelines. We can reduce their reach. So they did comply, kind of.
That is being complicit.
But they didn't ban people.
Doesn't,
Whereas, we'll get into YouTube.
What's the difference between ban and making sure that you're a black hole? It's just one and the same. The results are the same. You are not suggested to other people. You are not recommended to other people. You don't show up on timelines. Like, I know this for a fact because my YouTube and my Twitter has been shadow banned for as long as I can remember. Like, Elon, help me out. Save me from the black hole sun of Twitter.
You don't care.
He doesn't care. Like, I have
I'm anti-Elon.
80,000 followers on Twitter. Half of them, easily 40% of them are bots. Can you please just delete half of my followers?
No, because then his engagement numbers would go down.
Delete half of them. Just do it.
And the number of users on X would go down. So, like, you can't get rid of the bots.
I'm so ratioed, man. It's ridiculous.
You can't.
People tell me this shit all the time. They're like, you got 80,000 people following you, but you only got like 1,100 views. It's like, yes, because anyway, I'm frustrated.
So
these social media companies are ruining everything, man. Like, seriously, there needs to be a solution. There needs to be a solution built.
One interesting internal email that Mark Zuckerberg wrote.
He writes emails?
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
He says, this seems like a good reminder that when we compromise our standards due to pressure from an administration in either direction, we'll often regret it later.
100%.
Yeah.
Once you give them an inch, they take a mile. That's how it is, man. You've opened up the floodgates. You have capitulated. You are now soft tofu. No, you have no backbone. You have no spine. They can now grind through you however they want. They can force you to do whatever you want. You are weak, putty tofu.
But at least they were considering. Because when you talk, so that was the Facebook files. When you get into the...
So wait, hold on. How come this isn't all over the internet?
Because it's 880 pages. No one wants to read it.
This wasn't in my matrix.
No one wants to read 880 pages and
but
break it down.
This is... Would you liken this to be as bombshellish as the Twitter files?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So why were the Twitter files all over the internets for 9 months straight, but yet we're hearing nothing about the Facebook Zuckerbergs?
Because they want to ruin Twitter and Facebook's a part of the machine.
Why did...
Well,
but wait, is X not part of the machine?
They are definitely.
So what's the difference? Is it because Elon is controlled opposition and they have to play that part, and Zuckerberg is part of the Borg?
I don't know what Zuckerberg is, because
we know he's handled.
I was really anti-Zuckerberg, and then going through all these emails, I read all 880 pages. Going through all of it, you kind of start to feel like, Zuckerberg doesn't like this. There are countless instances where you're like, dude, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. He does it.
Yeah, he does it.
But that's kind of what we're leading to.
He's been diddied.
At least there is hesitancy.
He was diddied in Harvard, man.
Because if you think about YouTube, because there's emails on YouTube. Basically what happens with YouTube is the Biden administration contacts YouTube and says, you need to change your community guidelines because we don't like this anti-vaccination and anti-vax content on your platform. YouTube literally says, yes, sir. What else can we do for you? Hey, what do you think about these new rules? So at least Facebook had a little bit of pushback. Like, dude, we can't do this because it's not against our guidelines. We can't remove them. We can throttle them, but we can't remove them. YouTube's like, oh, boom, deleted, gone. What else can we do for you?
Yes, massa.
So I think that at least there's a little bit of difference there on how they handle that. You know what I mean?
I think you're trying to steel man an argument for...
I think there's levels to it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Regardless, though, Facebook is not off the hook by any stretch.
No. They still definitely comply. They still censor accounts according to what the government wants to do. But then we run to this question. If the government shows up, if the U.S. government shows up with the government gun and they point it at you and say, comply, how many very large companies actually fight back?
Not many. We're seeing more capitulation on the horizon, man.
And if you have investors, you have 20, 30, 40,000 employees, like how much can you really push back?
So
that's kind of the screwed part of it all.
This Facebook Files is very much in line with the bill that's just been passed. Many of you guys have seen Matt Kim's clip talking about the TikTok bill and all the billions of dollars we're sending to other countries. Like, this is the encroachment is only, I mean, when have we gotten to the point, Matt, where it's no longer encroachment? It is full ownership by the government.
Dude, I definitely think it's full-on censorship because the idea of that Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, X, Amazon, these are all private companies. Therefore, if they censor, it doesn't count as censorship because censorship only applies to government. However, if the government is literally telling you you have to remove certain people, then I think you've crossed a line where that is government intervention and censorship.
Can I abstract something that I feel like I've learned over the last 6 months? And I don't mind this admission, Matt, because I'm ignorant and sometimes I'm ridiculously slow. But I feel like in a lot of ways, I'm going to be somewhat hyperbolic here, the government isn't the problem. It's the private companies. It's tech companies that are the problem. Because it's the tech companies and big, powerful billionaires of tech companies and big companies, let's just say big companies, they're the ones who have the lobbying power, the money power, the influence power to say, look, peon, government employee GSA 13 who's making $145,000 a year, I can turn that $145,000 a year into $600,000 a year by just ensuring that you sign this piece of legislation, this type of stuff. Let me give you a little bit of extra juju and kickback. So as much as we hate the government, which we should, because less government is always a good thing, and larger government is a terrible idea. But at the end of the day, the government, my models around this have shifted, Matt, in that the government really is just big tech's bitch. And so it's not to take away any of the culpability or the responsibility or the accountability of malfeasance that our government has done over the decades that you and I have been alive and more. But I think we are truly living in a technocracy in which the technology companies and these big companies truly use government as the bitch to exact their policy ideas onto these weak humans that are making $1.45 but could make $600 if they just sign a couple papers.
And I think it's the other way around.
Really? You think government is more powerful than big tech?
Yes.
How so?
Because if you see the emails, it's do it fucking now coming from one side to the other. Just the tone of the messaging is different. There's a clear power dichotomy, right?
Yeah, but that power dichotomy. So big fish eat smaller fish kind of idea, right? So we have this government, and you're saying in this situation, government's top down on Facebook. Fair enough, 100%. They're telling Facebook, like, we don't like the shit, do it. But who's telling them to tell Facebook? Those are like the WHO.
Yeah.
Who are voted in individuals. Right? These are the organizations I'm talking about, like the World Health Organization. I'm talking about these types of things, like the big, what's it called? What's the grand vizier of the world these days? What's his name?
Klaus.
Yeah, Klaus Schwab. What does he run? He runs organizations that are not governmental organizations. They add pressure onto governmental organizations. So that's what I'm saying. Large organizations run the government, and that government is just a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm realizing this, man.
Well, I think it's tiered. So you have these non-elected, shadowy groups up at the top layer, and then you have like 5 trillionaires above them, and then you have these billionaires, and then you have the U.S. government,
NGOs,
and then underneath the U.S. government is all the other world governments, and then under these world governments are these tech companies that are trying to survive because everyone can get crushed. And then all the way at the bottom of the list is us. Right?
No matter how you shake the milkshake up top, we're still at the bottom.
We're still the bottom dread.
You're all the chicookies at the bottom.
We're still all the dregs of society right there on the bottom. So that's kind of how it works. Like there's them, there's them, there's them, there's them, there's them, and then
there's you.
There's us like fighting each other on the bottom. Like the shit we fight about actually matters. But reality is that there's a huge hierarchy above us, and they're making all the decisions. And that's really the biggest problem.
That is. So actually, you and I are both right. Government is the bitch of large organizations, but government also is the slave master as well.
But then you have companies like Rumble, who Russia said, take these people off. They said no.
Which I don't understand because Rumble's supposed to be anti-American, if you know what I mean. Like if you're looking from a Russian perspective.
Yeah.
Like, they want to support Rumble because it helps them.
Well, they don't like certain ideas getting out there, and they like things to be controlled. And if they can't control it, then you're the enemy because anyone that's for free thought and free speech is the enemy. That's just how it works, right? And Rumble said no, and there's only a couple outcomes. When the government shows up and they say, comply, ban these people, ban these ideas. When Chris was on the stream, he said it. There are only 3 outcomes, right? 1 is that you say no, and you get banned anyway. 2, you comply, and you're that guy. You just sacrificed all your morals, all your beliefs, and everything that you are. That's really your only options.
Or you could ignore it, which is effectively the same because then they just put you into a black hole.
Or option 3 is you physically just leave first.
Yeah. Well, I'm finding that, and this is something we can certainly talk about in the future, but there are a lot more freedom tools being built these days. So I think a lot of people are starting to think about how can I get ahead of the curve because the stuff that I'm talking about, the winds of censorship are changing and shifting all the time. And if you're wise, you might want to take the assertive initiative route and start looking for freedom tools to use before it's too late, because no one likes being woken up with a surprise that your account is no longer active, right? So there's solutions for this in the future.
Hope so. I know that there are people out there fighting for it, trying to make it happen, trying to do the right thing. It's an uphill battle for sure. Because again, the government shows up with a government gun, they point it at you and say, comply or die. Not many people in the world that say, I'll take my chances.
I know, right? We're living in a more dystopian 1984 Orwellian-esque type of world. And man, it's only going to be ratcheted up as we move into this deeper election cycle. It's going to be nutso, dude. By the end of 2024, it could be the end of the world, my friends.
And we talk a lot about the book 1984 because it seems so relevant today. But actually, the theme of the book is that this is coming and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, and in some ways, it's already here.
Yeah, because people reference the book all the time. Like, yo, look, we saw it coming, and maybe there's a way to fight it because you know it's going to happen. It's like the reality is the theme of the book is that it's coming and you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
It's actually not the best book then.
And it's kind of like The Matrix, which wasn't, a movie. It was actually a documentary of your life. The Matrix is a documentary, guys. You're just a battery.
Yeah. Can we move on?
Yes.
Can we move on? Can you show us? Look, did you see that?
I saw it.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Did you see
I saw the ticker.
Did you see the ticker move?
It changed.
Did you see it move?
We're moving on.
Can you go back up and down just to show like how awesome that was?
Should we do it again?
Yeah. Boom. Not many people are excited about that. I'm excited about it. It took us a long time to figure that out.
Gorillas.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty dope. Did you see, talking about vaccines, did you see the vaccine injured gorillas?
Okay, the irony is that we're actually talking about vaccine injured gorillas.
Vaccine injured gorillas. There was a gorilla, I think is it the San Diego Zoo, Will?
St. Louis.
St. Louis Zoo. And 2 years ago, they decided to give it the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
And I think it says in the article that they gave him a choice. Hey, gorilla, do you want the vaccine and this banana? Or do you not want the vaccine and no banana?
No, it was more like this.
And the guy said banana.
No, it was more like this. Do you want some hamburger and fries with your vaccination?
Yeah.
Exactly, just like that.
Did somebody say free fries?
Free fry? Guy, no, they didn't give this guy an option. What is this nonsense? Man, I just hate the news sometimes. You're lying. They didn't say they gave him the option.
Hey, well, just look at the article real quick and tell me if they gave the option. I believe it said they gave an option.
No way.
I think so.
No way.
I think they said that they...
That just shows the journalism. It's 90% of just
the gorilla had choice. Did that gorilla have choice?
What does it say? No way. No way. Well, so here's the irony. I need to bring it up. Why are we talking about vaccine-injured gorillas? Like so there's two vantage points that you can look at this. The first way that you could look at this is that they want to bring up vaccine injured gorillas because this is a way of bringing up the topic of the millions now who are now vaccine injured worldwide. The other way to look at it is they're talking about it to actually diffuse the issues of the millions of people that are now vaccine injured globally and worldwide. And so I'm wondering, because there's always intent, there's always reasons, right? People don't just wake up in the morning unless you're Gawker and an interviewer or journalist for Gawker. Like no one wakes up and says, let me study the shitting patterns of North African mice. Like nobody does this shit, right? Except if you're Gawker or Boing Boing or something like that. So like Yahoo News, I mean, maybe they're just like Gawker. Maybe they're just like the shitty news companies that we have today.
Well, Little Joe died of a heart attack.
Little Joe?
That's his name, Little Joe. He was known for his intelligence, is what they say.
And so he was so intelligent, he said yes to the vaccine?
Yep. That's what happens when you're overly educated. You say yes to the vaccine, apparently. So he did. He said yes. Speaking of vaccine-injured gorillas, we also heard that Chris Como is also vaccine-injured.
No. Yeah. What?
That's why we're talking about vaccine-injured gorillas. Thank you. The lead-in.
Those dad jokes
is great. The lead-in is great. The lead-in is great.
Oh my gosh, those dad jokes suck, bro. All right, I get it. Why is Chris Como coming out and saying he's vaccine injured? That seems very antithetical to the theme wasn't he super vax supporter back in the day?
He said the problem is people like Sean and me and millions of others who still have this weird stuff in their blood work and their lives and their feelings, physically are not going away. I can't help you because I'm no clinician. I'm sick myself, but I will never stop reporting on this.
Dang. So I wonder if this is his way of apologizing to the world, because wasn't he a big vaccine proponent? Wasn't he trying to shove it down people's throats back in the day too?
I mean, he worked for CNN. I'm sure that was part of the messaging that they were required to do.
Man, maybe this is his recompense. Maybe this is his way of just showing, asking for forgiveness for all the... Because I see a lot of Twitter posts these days, and I don't see them as much as I did before, where people will post stuff like the nurses dancing with masks on, the guys saying you need to get your vaccine with fries, Biden saying and the title of it always is never forget. And so I wonder what is going to come of this. Are people going to forget? Is it going to be just washed under the rug? Are we going to let this stuff go and forget about it so that the next time, because it's going to come, right? The next time something like this happens, people are just going to capitulate?
I mean, I'm never taking one. Dude, my trust and faith in the medical system is at like an all-time low.
I think it's at an all-time low for most people.
I can't take any of them seriously any longer.
These are supposed to be the most educated, gone through most schooling.
It's ridiculous.
Individuals on
They're
the planet.
just literally guessing at everything they do.
Bro, say less. You got it. They're guessing.
And you are just as likely to like survive if you listen or if you don't. So you might as well trust your own gut and kind of figure it out on your own, because they just keep on getting wrong. And I would feel better about it if at least some of these doctors and these experts, if they came out like, look, we kind of messed that one up. At least if they were a little bit apologetic, if they actually were able to admit that they were wrong, why they were wrong, then I'd be like, all right, at least you have the ability to self-reflect, that you are a little bit self-aware, and maybe there's hope for you.
So let me ask you two questions. Number one, should we continually talk about this?
Of course.
Okay. Number two, what do you say to people who say, Matt, get over it, dude, it was 3 years ago?
No, that's
why?
You can't let stuff like this go, because they're going to do it again. And next time it's going to be worse. It's always a warm-up. You always test before you release the actual. You put it out there. How do people react? What are the problems? What were the pushbacks? Where did people really not like this messaging? What worked? How come we couldn't convince the entire country to sign up for the vaccine passports and digital ID? Why did that effort fail?
They literally said that.
Yeah.
In those big meetings.
They wanted everyone to comply, and they didn't. And they couldn't figure out. And they're like, wait a second. But we told you that this would kill grandma. Maybe these people don't care about grandma. What else could work? Right? And eventually, they're testing. They have these billion-dollar think tanks literally sitting there, and their entire job is to figure out, why did people not comply? How do we get people to comply next time? And if we stop talking about, you're letting them kind of almost free test. You have to keep on talking about, really keep on throwing them curveballs where they're like, okay, we can't figure this thing out. Maybe we'll move on to a different problem to create for people.
I appreciate, Matt, very much your willingness to continue to talk about this, because I will forever, until something worse happens, and I pray to God that it doesn't happen, but I will forever hold in my heart that you and I truly, and everyone out there who's alive today, truly lived through the biggest global scam ever perpetrated on humanity. Like, they got billions of people not to leave their homes. Like, think about how powerful that idea is. Not one country, not Zimbabwe, not Switzerland. The entire world, billions of people did not go out of their homes because the TV told them.
Dude,
This is crazy. We lived through this shit.
They convinced people to call the cops on their neighbors for having barbecues. Hey, cops, my neighbor is having a barbecue, and there's more than 6 people there. I think you need to come and break it up. It's a super spreader event.
Man,
Like, that shit really happened.
those Karens, bro. Those Karens.
And they normalized it, and none of those people have come out like, oh, maybe we were wrong. Zero remorse.
I would really like an apology from my neighbor.
Never going to get it.
Never gonna get
Karen's never going to email you.
it. Karen, it would be great if you were just humble, man, and realized that you were wrong and you shouldn't be shouting at people.
Peter's Karen neighbor is literally named Karen.
Yes. That's why I don't mind, because I know she's not watching this shit because she's watching CNN right now. Truly, true story. For a fact, I know it. Oh God! So I'm glad that we're willing to talk about it. I'm glad that people like Chris Cuomo are coming out.
Whatever.
and being-
Fuck Chris Cuomo.
You understand my point? He's showing a little bit of courage to talk about his issue.
I think he sees the issue trending, and because he's a follower and not a leader, he's like, oh, everyone's talking about this
Are you
now.
serious?
They care
You
about
think
this
he's
now.
that much a grift?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You think he really sees this as like, oh shit?
Yeah,
Hashtag. One of the sexy ladies isn't going right now. Ukraine's not trending. Trans is not trending. Vaccine injured's trending. Let me get on that
me
train.
too. I am. I'm one of those.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You think he's that vapid?
I think he's a grifter. I think he has zero backbone. I don't think he cares or believes in anything he says or stands for. And I think him on PBD is like really concerning.
Let me ask the question. What do you think of Chris Cuomo on PBD?
I hate it.
Why?
Because, well,
I mean, he can do whatever he wants, but
they can do whatever they want. I used to really like their show.
what changed?
I don't like any of it anymore. I think it's all propagandist. I think they care more about marketing and more about the views and trending topics rather than actually making a difference. I think they are a marketing company and a media company, just like a Fox News or anything else. I think that's their goal. I think they want to be maybe like a Daily Wire. And I don't think they actually care about what they talk about. So I think adding Chris Cuomo to the mix just proves it.
So you're kind of going scorched earth here, man. Well, so let me tell you when I feel like PBD switched. When I saw the inundation of the Nikki Haley ads. Like, they just started playing that so hardcore, and it was just like, what do you guys really stand for? Because you seem to be diluting the original kind of thesis of what PBD was. So I think it's yet to be seen, but I understand the trajectory seems to be heading into a very watered down entertainment show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and early on, I think last year, I think what really did it for me was they were so pro DeSantis. They were like, oh, DeSantis is the best. DeSantis is going to be president. I'm like, dude, like, and now they're like, oh, Trump's the man. I'm like, oh, okay, like, you're one of those guys.
Fair weather.
Fair weather.
fan.
They're just reading the tea leaves. They want to see, they get analytics and they say, okay, what's important? Where can we make some money? Where can we do it, and then okay, that's what we are now. That's how they make their decisions. That's what I feel. So yeah, PBD thing has been entertainment type stuff, hence valuetainment. I agree. They're just entertainment.
Maybe they're going back to their original roots. That they're just entertainment.
They're just marketing company, and he's good at what he does.
Not wrong.
I'm not saying he's bad at what he does. He's definitely good at what he does.
He's a positive dude. I'll take that.
But like as far as being a thought leader and someone I look to for like information or kind of shape worldviews, like definitely not for me.
Do we need to re-sign in chat here to make sure that works?
No, I think that's just always there.
Okay,
cool. I think so. So, did you see the clip of the guy that tried to shoot the pastor?
I have not, but apparently, the clip that we're about to show is a clip that I haven't seen, and then I have a clip of another pastor getting attacked that you haven't seen. So we live in two different matrices, guys. So let's see this. What's going on?
And can you do a enlarge on that, Will, before you play him? I think that would help a lot. Yeah, there you go.
That's nice.
There you go. Dude.
Whoa, dude. He's just like pointing that gun straight at him.
He pointed the gun at him, pulled the trigger, and the gun jammed. Literally just walked up, point blank.
Dude, let's play that again. Let's play the middle. Yeah. Bro!
Dude, that's crazy.
That's crazy, man. What are the chances of that? What are the chances of the gun not going off?
Is that divine intervention or what? I mean, what are the chances? I mean, he got right to the point where he was trying to get.
Well, wow. Let's play this next clip, Will. Let's play this next clip of another pastor, Orthodox bishop, Marmari, if you can bring that up. He was recently, he's kind of been blowing up, kind of like the other Orthodox Jew who's converted to Catholicism. What's his name now? I forget his name. You've seen that guy, the wild guy.
Ben Shapiro?
No, not the one. No, he's not Christian. But are we going to bring up this other one? It's the Bishop Marmari getting stabbed while he was preaching. See if we can bring that up or no.
Is that the faulty knife they're referencing?
I don't know, but I think the topic of this is it seems like nope, that was there we go, right here. So this
Can you enlarge that, Will?
Yeah, enlarge this one too. So this is Bishop Marmari.
Whoa.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, guy just ran up to him and stabbed him in the eye. Okay, so if the next clip is he lost his eyeball from this unfortunate experience, and I don't know if we have the clip of him talking about it, but yeah. So apparently these attacks on Christian preachers are becoming a, let's just say, more common occurrence these days. And so I wonder, is Christianity under attack? Is that what we're seeing here? These types of patterns, because I mean, a lot more preachers these days and pastors these days are live streaming their sermons, they're preaching, which makes a lot of sense. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Let's play this. And I would like to say about what happened 2 weeks ago. I have lost this eye. Let this eye be, as we say in Iraq, let my eyes be tribute to you. Let his eye be tribute. I love the Muslim and the Christian. I don't differentiate. So he lost his eye, and he's saying, which is really interesting, it's very Christian. He's saying that he has given his eye to the Muslims and to his brothers in the world, and saying, I give this to you as a token of essentially kind of like a palm branch or an olive branch of peace between the Christians and the Muslims. But I mean, we're seeing these types of attacks, I think, grow, and it's not a pattern I would like to continue to see, unfortunately.
So it seems like Christians are under attack. But when do you attack someone?
You attack someone when you are distraught, you are mentally unstable, life situations have brought you down, and you are destitute, and in a lot of cases, hopeless.
You attack someone when the person you're attacking or the group you're attacking also seems weak.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. So
If Christianity and the church and the Christian movement, if it was strong, then there's less incentive to attack because they're strong. No one likes to go into a battle that's going to be difficult. You attack because the other party that you're attacking seems extremely weak.
it's an interesting perspective.
I mean, what else do you attack? You always attack the weaker.
Well, Christians tend to be the whipping boy in throughout history. And what I mean by that is Christians, the pattern of Christians throughout history is that the Christians are the ones who capitulate and have the weakest spine and are the ones who go along with the world. And the reason is because they have tolerance and they have love and compassion.
Well, okay, because we do know. Can you pull up this article, Will? The next one, the AP News one. So we do know that recently, actually it just happened last week, that the United Methodist Church has repealed their long-standing ban on LGBTQ. And why do I have to say all the fucking letters, dude? Like, why can't we keep it, like, why can't we have something easier? Why do we always have to say all the damn letters? But if I don't even know what to say if I want to shorten it. Sorry. United Methodist repeal long-standing...
You sound like? You sound like a normative cis, white dude. That's your problem.
United Methodist repeal long-standing ban on LGBTQ plus TI2A clergy.
Man,
So-
I just don't know. Why?
So if people don't know that the United Methodist Church is probably one of the largest denominations in the world, and they've recently gone through their own civil war where half the church wants to comply with the globalist agenda and accept all of they want to let trans people become clergy, which is fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. And then half the church split off and they went into their own branch of United Methodist Church because they don't want to. I think over half the Methodist churches in Georgia have left United Methodist Church.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And if you are a attacker of Christianity, if you are an attacker of the Christian church, and you see this infighting, and the church itself can't agree on simple things like, okay, promoting trans is not the best thing to do. But let's allow the church to do it, and the other part of the church like, no, we don't want to let them do it. You start infighting about this crazy idea because the Muslims are like, dude, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I can't believe you guys are talking about this. Can't believe you guys are arguing about this. You seem so weak right now.
The Christians have certainly lost the plot. Certainly lost the plot.
Even during COVID.
Certainly.
The churches were like, hey, do you know what? Let's shut down. Let's let the drugstores be open. Let's let the bars be open. Let's let the liquor stores be open.
Yep.
Let's let everything
Strip clubs.
bad for you
Strip
be
clubs.
open. But the church, let's close because they tell us we should close. And do you know what? Let's also tell all of our people at church, let's tell all the members that they should get vaccinated because for some reason, the church has now become a mouthpiece of government. And the other side sees what's going on. And they seem really weak right now. This is the perfect opportunity to attack them.
I think you can tell from my body language. I don't like this topic because I don't want to speak poorly about the church. But man, the church is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like my greatest grievance against the church corporate was COVID. is exactly what you just, those two things. When I saw pastors, men of faith, who are supposed to be examples of the God that they serve, weak-kneed, pussyfooting, and capitulating and giving in to the fear of the government, and close their churches, number one. And then what you said, number two, was the nail in the coffin for me when I saw preachers preaching that you need to get a experimental mRNA injection. Like, dude, you've lost the fucking plot. Like, there is no Christ in your church anymore. And I don't like saying it, I don't like hearing it come out of my mouth, but at the same time, it was so abjectly apparent. It was so disappointing. And so I think I wasn't as convinced, Matt, when you brought up the topic of saying that Christianity in the church corporate has become weak. But I think I've kind of sold myself into your narrative, because like we've seen the epic corporate breakdown. And I think right here, what you're showing here, this Methodist, right? So we had Presbyterian. So Presbyterian split into two, PCUSA and PCA. And PCA is more conservative.
Correct.
PCUSA accepted the lesbians and the gays. And then we had the Episcopal Church. We had that split. And the Episcopalians, they went full bore. Their entire whatever their book of order. No, that's Presbyterian, but their book of order said basically we're going to accept all this. Now we have the Methodists who are now accepting this, and it's creating splits. So the more that you can fracture these churches into 1,000 pieces, certainly that is one of the best ways of the art of war to ruin your enemy without actually lifting a finger and fighting.
All of these Christian churches are telling their congregation, you must support Israel.
Dude,
it's like, wait, must? We have to? This is a political thing or a religious thing. And if it's a religious thing, then like they don't believe what you believe. You understand that, right? And like, no, but you must support them because on the Bible it says you have to support.
Man,
I'm like, well, no, like no one. I don't think anywhere in the Bible says you have to support the rogue Israeli government.
No, nowhere in the Bible does it say that we as churches we should supporting the independent Zionist nation of Israel.
But if you ask any church, they're like, how can you not stand with Israel? It's just another one. They supported the COVID. They supported the COVID lockdowns. They were all for BLM, and they were in that boat.
So do you think this is part of the woke mind virus that has infected not only our institutions, our educational institutions, our political institutions, clearly our media institutions? Are you saying that this is just part and parcel of the woke mind virus infecting religious dogma?
When Jesus said, go out into the world and spread the word and create churches, he didn't say create mini governments all over.
Oh.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say you need to have this corporate structure, that you have to have this crazy hierarchy, that you have to have all these systems and processes in place. Really, it was supposed to go out there, tell people, give people a place to congregate. That went from congregation of people to pray and worship and celebrate, and that has become a corporate machine. And once you add corporate machine and profits to anything, this is the end result. And the other side, even the Muslims that may be anti-Christian, they're going, bro, they're so lost. This is the best time to attack them.
Actually, you could probably, Matt, choose any topic across the social spectrum, and you could say that Christians have failed. Think about it. What are all the hot ticket issues that have happened in the last 3 years? COVID, vaccination, immigration, right? We got illegal alien problems. We got Black Lives Matters and the Summer of Love, right? We got our educational institutions, which are clearly racist, right? With all the DEI and ESG stuff, right? Like, if you were to inject the context or topic of Christianity and Christians in the church into any of these social hot ticket items of today, the grade that you'd get on that Christian report card would be an F or a D in every single area.
Well,
every single area.
Have you seen the rewriting of grades in the country?
You mean like in Portland and in Seattle, Washington, where math is racist and they don't have to do math anymore?
No. Okay. When we were younger, what was an A? 90 something plus.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah.
a F would be something between 60 and 70 would be an F. You failed.
Yeah. I
Used
remember.
to be.
Used to be. Yeah.
They've lowered everything by like 20%.
What?
So
What does this mean? You get like an 80 to 100. That's an A.
yeah, and if you get like between a 40 and a 50, then you get a D.
Dude, you're actually beyond retarded at that point.
They are so worried that people aren't testing high. So instead of increasing the level of education
And the rigor.
with people and the rigor, what they're doing is lowering the grading standard so that people still have the same bell curve of grades.
Oh Jesus.
So they're changing, instead of changing how they teach people, they are changing the grading system to accommodate so that people there is equity within the bell curve of grades.
That makes sense now. Equity. So we actually don't want smarter people. We want them to go through the system easier.
Correct. Because God forbid nobody gets an A.
And God forbid we certainly don't want any critical thinking.
And if you're California, you wouldn't want people to think that your schools are subpar because no one's getting A's and everyone's got a low GPA.
Oh.
Therefore, you have to lower the rigor of the grading system in order to make it seem like you are doing just as well as the other schools.
You guys know this out there in chat. You guys know this. This is what happens. This is the epic failure and the common denominator of low expectations. Low expectations creates a toxicity, an acidic culture where where the bar can't be lowered to the ground. We're on the ground.
Well,
we're on ground floor level right now.
This is a great segue.
Because we have Portland, we got Seattle. No one does math in Portland or Seattle anymore. Nobody does any maths. Like, math is not a thing because it's racist. Now, also, which I'm seeing from the chat, apparently this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Latino Free Mind says 79 to 100 is an A. M. Lelou, 1975 says 25% is passing.
It's crazy.
25% is passing.
We are
Like, you could
we are
literally
raising
be-
a generation of idiots.
They're idiot. They're retarded.
And
You got to bring that word.
well, it's a great segue because if there's any proof that we are putting idiots into higher education and idiots into Harvard, can you play the Harvard video, Will?
Oh my goodness, this is going to be disappointing. And these guys are paying like $75,000 a year. To
This
go to
is a lot of damn money. These are the people that are ruling your medical industry.
Okay. All right. What do we got here? Oh, yes.
Oh, no audio, Will. It's muted. Go to movie and hit. Go to movie, unmute it.
All right, play again.
Oh no, it's still muted. You have to.
I don't know if I want to hear that again because, man, that was absolute dog shit in my ears. Like I feel like I need to go like just put a chopstick in my ear and bleed out the suffering that I just experienced and witnessed. Like, are we gonna run this back again? This is a terrible idea.
I don't know why this
like
sounds that way.
I feel like my ears are being laped by unsophisticated, somehow educated individuals who clearly are on their 9th booster. So I don't know if this is a great idea. Will, are you figuring it out? Because right now I'm just trying to make sure
No, it's not playing.
it's not working.
Yeah, you see the sound level? It's not. It's
Oh
not
my
moving.
gosh, this is just
Oh man, we need to. It's not working, Will. I don't know why.
all right. Okay, well, we can put it in the chat so you guys can have your eyes bleed and your ears bleed. But apparently, this is almost as bad as the vaccination dances that we saw a couple years ago, where clearly the hospitals were so inundated with patients and sick people that almost every hospital in America had time to create, coordinate, organize, and choreograph TikTok dances. Do you remember that, man? Those are good times in the COVID world.
Dude, this is Harvard Medical School. They are supposed to be the top of the top of the top.
I'm sorry, dude.
Question for you. Knowing what you know, we're seeing these crazy protests of, I believe if college students want to protest, let them protest because they don't know what the hell they're doing anyway. But they're also protesting in a really dumb, stupid way. Both sides. Knowing what you know about higher education, about what the Ivy League is currently doing, seeing the direction and how not smart the president of Harvard itself was. If your daughter, who is a very smart girl, she said, Dad, I'm going to go to Harvard, you would say,
No.
Really?
No, absolutely
It's
not.
Harvard.
No, absolutely not. What a waste of money. She can go to UGA, she can go to State, she can go to Georgia Tech, a great engineering school here in Georgia, right? And that'll have everything they need, everything she needs.
It's Harvard.
No, absolutely. No.
You wouldn't let your daughter go to Harvard?
Undergraduate education is the same across the board in America. You can get a great undergraduate education, which is basically lesbian underwater basket weaving. That's essentially what everyone gets as an undergrad. So
It's Harvard.
she should go to Georgia State for free, or UGA or Tech, Georgia Tech for free, get her undergrad. And if she wants to go to a professional, certification route where she needs like a doctor or a lawyer.
I mean, that was Harvard Medical School.
Well, then if she wants to go to Harvard Medical School, then we'll have that conversation. But for undergrad, this is the entry point.
It makes a difference between graduate school and undergraduate.
Oh, absolutely. Undergrad is useless. Graduate is what you need. You need those papers so that you can become the doctor or the lawyer or the the researcher or the scientist that you want to be. If she chooses that track, then we will have that conversation. But if she just wants to go to school and essentially retard her life for 4 years at the cost-benefit ratio of about $400,000 of my money to zero value that she gets out of it, then we're going to have that conversation.
Do you think Harvard and places like Harvard will ever lose their social clout?
I hope so.
That they have.
I hope so.
But is that even possible? Because
I hope
there's
so.
a structure above that are from Harvard graduates that keep it propped up.
Yeah.
That are running the major firms, major financials,
Yeah.
major banks, major law firms, and they're all Harvard educated.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, they keep the value of Harvard high.
Let's not mix marbles. They fund Harvard and their war chest, Harvard's war chest, to keep Harvard alive. They don't keep the quality of students high. So just because you're 65 years old, you made your billions, and you're a Harvard alum, means that you're willing to put in $50 million this year to the alumni fund. That doesn't equate to the quality of students. Well, we are seeing clearly here that the quality of students who are going into Ivy League schools like Penn, like UGA, like Penn, like Princeton, like Harvard, like Stanford, like Caltech, the quality of the students is diminishing at a exponential rate. And so if we look at a model of trust funds, which clearly shows that the average trust fund will be depleted and be destroyed, the entire legacy, by the third generation. So if we look at the trust fund model and apply that to higher education, Matt, this is what I'm saying, is that the next 3 generations of Harvard graduates will ensure the liquidation and demise of that system, because they're retarded, they're getting their papers, but they're not going to be able to support the system as they get older because they're ineffective.
But
so I look forward to the day in which the vast majority of quote-unquote elite educational institutions like your Ivy League schools will be destroyed by 2-year technical schools where you're actually learning valuable skills and trades where you can make 80 to 100 grand a year 2 years out and not be saddled with $350,000 worth of debt.
But we're talking about the future of your daughter.
Yes.
And we know that right now that makes sense, applying it to today's view and ideologies.
Well, I hope in the next 5 years when she's college bound that college will be on its very obvious decline. So the conversation will be logically, hey, do you want to get 4 years of work experience, or do you want to have 4 years of partying at daddy's expense?
So what we do know in the next 5-10 years, as much as we fight it, we'll probably run into some sort of social credit score.
Oh, for sure.
And the social credit score will determine your value to the world for the rest of your life. And my guess is that in order to have a leg up in your social score and a bottom that's higher than others, if you were to come from someone like Harvard, you automatically get extra credits
Could
in
be.
your social credit system.
Could be. I can see
So
that being a
by-
reality for sure.
So if you're trying to set them up for future, I'm not saying I agree with it, but if you're trying to set them up for future and it's for your progeny, do you still not want them to have that leg up?
I would. Do,
Wouldn't that be the ultimate privilege, really, to have a higher bottom than everyone else?
It's a good way of putting it. A higher bottom. I think there is good rationale and reason for why that is valuable. I think, and this is maybe the pragmatist in me, Matt. I believe in the problem solving and the smart brain of my daughter, and same with my son. Is that with their smart brain and their assertiveness, hopefully, and gumption, and maybe a little bit of initiativeness that they get from their old man, that they will do well regardless of the educational background that they have. I graduated from Florida State. I think I graduated with a 3.5, 3.6, nothing stellar. I mean, you just make it through. Right? Florida State isn't top 500 colleges. Maybe it is top 500 colleges. I don't know, but it's not a Penn State. It's not a Penn, or it's not a Princeton. Right? I did fine there. Then I went to three graduate programs, finished those. I did fine there. So I feel like the models that I've created at my home will be more than encompassing and enabling her to make the right decisions as to where she wants to end up at college, whether it's an Ivy League or not. But if it were based solely on the social perception of value, I think the social perception of value of Ivy League is diminishing day by day, and I can't wait till someone wakes up and says, you know what? It's no longer worth doing any of it. I think it's useless.
Again,
I mean, let's think about this podcast. Did you go to a university class to learn how to podcast?
No, but if we did and we spent a ridiculous amount of money and we cared more about the views and we cared about clickability and we cared about algorithms and we cared about what's really trending at the moment, then we could have went PBD route.
But would you go to would you go
We're
to
gonna try to become like Valley
yeah, but would you go to
no
entire
chasing news?
would you go to an entire semester of podcast school to do this, or thanks to the internets and your mobile device and YouTube's, like, you can figure this out yourself? Isn't that the world we live in today?
But that's
The brick and mortar is dead, brother.
But that's what it's like now, because we're in this transitory phase between analog and full on digital.
Yeah.
We're in this transitory phase right now.
Yes, for sure.
We will eventually be where everything is digitalized, everything is blockchain, everything is credit, everything is numbered, everything is in sort of this, again, social credit system.
The way that I say it, it's all databases in the future.
And
Just databases.
and if that's true, then the more credentials you have will improve and make your life easier.
With the AI systems, potentially, yes.
Yes.
So
And I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying that's a stark reality of maybe what we're going to face in our future, maybe in 10, 20 years when your kid is going to be starting off his life, her life.
Yeah, so you're saying we should chip them now.
Chip them now.
Have them become part of the
Just
Borg now.
straight in right
Yeah.
now.
We need to get
Full compliance.
full access, guys.
Full compliance. Full compliance. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't like it, but it's something that we have to think about because eventually everything's going to be online.
Not wrong.
And analog will no longer exist. There will be a few people that will be able to survive by being the analog.
Yeah.
And most will do better in their life if they figure out how to game the digital system better. That's just a reality of it.
I agree. So I mean, you're a little bit farther than I am from this decision, but if someone put a gun in my head and say, Peter, make a bet, the bet would be this: your daughter, college will not be a good economic decision.
Again, it's just for the check marks. Teaching them to be box checkers.
Man, but let me ask you this: would you, if given the opportunity, would you trade your 4 years at college for 2 full-time jobs spanned over 2 years each? In the industry that you like and you've found success in. I mean, there's a lot packed in there, but you understand my point is 4 years of work history versus 4 years of jacking off.
I also feel like it's a little bit different, guys and girls. Most guys in between 18 and 22, like whatever you do, most likely you're gonna fuck it up anyway.
No, true. But at least you'll learn something.
You know, if you go into business, you'll probably lose it. I mean, if you want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to fail in order to succeed.
Yes.
So maybe get your failures out of the way quicker.
Yeah.
I get that. For girls, maybe it's a little bit different. Do you really want to? For girls, if you normalize them to too much failure, then they end up hanging out with people that it's okay to fail, and maybe that's not the best. It's a different way to look at it.
Yeah, guys and girls react differently to failure.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. They.
But everything that we just said could get us censorable because we're defining the difference between these two, apparently biological differences between these two sexes.
You're right. We are totally gender assumers. Shame on us.
I know.
Shame on us. All right. So we have a segment at the end of every show moving forward, and that segment is going to be called. Will is not ready for it. I set him up.
Will's
I
picks.
set him up for it.
Will's picks.
I set him up for it.
Will's picks. Oh my god. You look like.
How awesome is that, by the way?
I do like that.
How awesome is
I
that
do
lead-in?
like that.
At the
I
end
love
of
that.
every single show
Let's
from
do the
here on
Will.
forward, we will have Will's World, where Will is scouring the internet for fun, interesting, funny clips, and he's gonna play them and
We'll
just to
react.
give us a chance to react and end the show on a positive note because we don't like to think about our daughters being plugged in for the rest of their lives.
No, not a good idea. I like this because this gives us an opportunity to see some of Will's ideas, and because he's really fucked up in the head. So
Yeah. What do you got for us, Will? What the fuck is this? Wait, start over. I don't know what the hell's going on. Can you give us a zoom on this? Oh, no audio. Can't hear.
Why? Oh man.
All right, we're gonna do some quick troubleshooting. Pause that
yeah.
real quickly, Will. Go to the sound levels, hit the plus button next to Black Magic. No, right there. Plus button. Okay. Yeah. No, unmute it. Okay, let's see if that works. No, it's because it will mute. It's muted now because it's in the preview. No, that's not working. What if you do playthrough? Okay.
All right. Let's see if it does.
And unclick the mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No, it doesn't work. Oh man. I
Will.
like the Will's Corner, man. The Will's Corner was cracking. It was working, man. It
Try opening it with a different browser.
But then we don't have that embedded.
It's all right. No worries. Bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 bum. It's all good.
Oh, on the audio,
Smash the like
smash
button.
it like we're figuring this out.
Yep.
Hit the in the taskbar. Hit the sound button. No, and then go into. No, that's not going to be it either.
Wasn't it working before?
It was working on the old computer. The new
got too
computer.
many windows
Apparently,
here.
we did not do this. It should be under Rotro. No. We're gonna have to call Daniel. I feel like we probably just didn't install a driver or something.
All good. Well, welcome, guys.
Sorry,
Appreciate you
guys.
hanging out. We do it live. That's how we do it. We do it live.
Will's World will have to come back for another episode. Don't forget, on tomorrow evening, we have the Dillies in the house, Mr. and Mrs. Dilly, Brendan Dilly, Rihanna Dilly. They're going to be joining us to do a live show tomorrow. It's going to be the first time we've done that in a while. Actually, both of them are coming. And I think we're going to do a Trump episode because we've talked about this before. I have no idea what's going on in the Trump trials
You know what? Maybe it's time for an update.
because I would like to know what's going on. I my interest in the Trump trials has been, I think, an all-time low for the entire year.
Do you think that's manufactured?
Yes. They're trying to give you Trump trial fatigue where you lose interest in the political process.
It's working.
It is working because I am totally checked out.
Well, maybe it's time to relight the fire,
Does
guys.
anybody know if we're winning or losing?
I think we're winning.
Are we?
Yeah.
I feel like if we want to be winning, we need to be winning by a
Even
fucking lot right now.
CNN in the recent polls showed that was winning.
And I think that's all a part of the fatigue. Try to make it seem like you're winning, get you fatigued from the Trump news, and try to get people to be disinterested as they start to ramp up on the other side.
All the
going into
while,
summer.
new revelations of the lady who was let go from the Wisconsin ballot showed that she had admitted to like 160, 180,000 to flip Wisconsin for
Is
Biden.
Is election fraud even a thing anymore?
Apparently, they're just letting everybody admit to everybody that they're doing it, and
And they
nobody
don't even
cares.
care.
Nobody cares.
They're just moving on,
Like,
brush
yep.
it under the rug. Nobody cares. Let's move on to another story because people, their outrage is at max already. They can't get more mad about this.
You know, it's
If
kind of
anything, they're like, "Oh, okay, there you go, talking about this again."
it's kind of like, have you ever raised a sound level up to the highest point where it eventually just pops and the sound goes away completely?
Well, we tried, but Will can't seem to figure it out, so we can't watch Will's World.
Ba-dum-bum.
We will figure that out, and we will have the Dilly meme team in the house tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. We're doing a evening stream. Definitely come check it out. Definitely smash that like button on the way out. Otherwise, we'll see you. I think, when do you want to do another stream?
Oh, next week sometime. We'll figure it out, guys.
Can you do one this week?
Sure.
Maybe we'll do this week. Check in on the Telegram. Check in on the Discord. We'll announce it there. Love you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.
Peace out.